this episode, we take you inside the world's largest cruise ship, the Legend of the Seas, to witness its maiden sailing, the Inaugural Voyage. Together we'll experience this historic event and discover what it's really like aboard Royal Caribbean's newest flagship.
3, 2, 1.
We'll take you behind the scenes to witness everything that happened that week, from the headline shows and events, around the pools and attractions. We'll show you all the highs and lows at all 22 dining outlets and bars.
You don't look even remotely remorseful.
Is it exciting or a complete overload? Because a maiden voyage is unlike any other and always unpredictable. And by the end, will we and everybody else love or hate the ship? This is the Ritzy Travel Guide Cruise Diary to the Legend of the Seas. Welcome back to the Ritzy Travel Guide. My name is Bill, and it's great to have you with us. And we're here for a very special episode. Today we're taking you aboard the inaugural maiden voyage of Legend of the Seas, officially the world's largest cruise ship. Now, admittedly only by a few inches, but we're told inches do count. Mind you, she won't hold that title forever because Carnival Corporation has already announced its new Ace Class, beginning with the Carnival Destiny in 2029, which they say is going to take the record. But for now, Legend wears the crown of the world's largest cruise ship. Legend is the third ship in Royal Caribbean's revolutionary Icon class, and follows on from the first, the Icon of the Seas, and then the Star of the Seas. Last time in the first episode, we gave you our full ship review. We explored every neighborhood, looked at all the pools, then the restaurants, showed you the entertainment, our cabin, the things we loved, and the things that we thought Royal Caribbean really could still improve. Please be very, very, very aware. If you haven't watched that episode, don't worry, you can do so after this. It doesn't matter what order you watch these videos in, and I'll give you the links to episode 1 later on. We're now up to this one, what we call the Cruise Diary. This is our behind-the-scenes look at the ship. We'll show you what Embarkation is really like on the world's largest cruise ship. Was it chaos or organised? You'll see. And we'll take a proper look at life aboard for those first couple of days, show you how Royal Caribbean celebrated it all. Plus, we'll then fully, and I mean fully, be testing out the Category 6 Waterpark.
3, 2, 1.
This episode will also show you some of our ports of call, because for 6 months of the year, the Legend of the Seas is based in Europe, the other half being out of Florida, and we stopped at 3 fascinating Mediterranean destinations. I'll show you just a few minutes of those because you might want to get some inspiration. And then after the full 7 days, we'll give you our honest rundown on who we think this ship is suitable for. It's not for everybody. We'll tell you who we think it is and those who perhaps really shouldn't be considering this one. Right, let's head down to where day 1 for us started. That's at Civitavecchia. That's the port for Rome in Italy. It was early July, in fact the 4th of July to be precise, when we got on. So many Americans on board were ready to celebrate. Let's pick up the action as we arrive at the terminal. So here we go, arriving at the port. And our biggest worry, would it be heaving with people at the terminal? 7,000 people all at once. Well, surprisingly not. It's not bad, is it? Quite organised. Royal Caribbean is well known for being organised. Famous last words, let's see.
It's actually surprisingly clear.
It's not bad, is it? One thing Royal is good at is crowd control. It was very organised. Within about 20 minutes, we were checked in and ready to take a look at the ship.
Look at the size of it.
It goes from left to right, really, doesn't it?
Wow.
Are we ready for a bit of Royal Caribbean, the Legend of the Seas, the world's largest cruise ship? Well, I say world's largest. All of the Icon class are equal size, but it is, as we stand, one of the 3 world's largest ships.
Godzilla's of the sea. It is huge.
Now, this is not a small ship, it's not a tiddler, it's not a little miniature ship, it's huge, it's walking, it goes from here to there. Now, I'm not trying to enter that game of who's got the biggest one, but when you see Costa there is a difference in size, there is a difference in stature. Yes, whose is bigger? Ours is bigger than everybody else's. Wonder what they're loading on those pallets. Do you think it's the famed lobster for the boarding day buffet?
Boarding is always exciting. especially when it's the maiden voyage, because it's the unknown, it's the mystical.
So far, the anticipated out-of-control crowds wasn't happening. We were very pleasantly surprised.
How many people in front of us?
Absolutely none.
It was extremely efficient, even in Italy, because anything that happens out of Italy isn't known necessarily to run 100% smoothly. I could hear some cheering, some hooping and hollering. Woo! Hey! Woo! Oh, hang on, more flags, more flags, more flags. Inaugural, it is.
It's not just Legends of the Sea, it's the halo.
Hello, enjoy it, guys.
And on arrival, the flags and band were out in force. It was quite the carnival atmosphere.
Also, Independence Day.
It is 4th of July. There will be a balloon drop later tonight. There's a buzz of excitement rippling around the ship. Everybody's in excite mode.
So what does it feel like entering a megaship? The very first view you get is the Pearl, the huge spherical ball right in the centre. It glows at you from every direction. What you want on any cruise ship are features, something that stands out. On a classic ship, it could be the brass or old wood panelling, reminding you of an era gone by. Here on the Legend, one of the features is the Pearl. When you see it on the screen here, perhaps it doesn't do it justice. Perhaps it might look a bit gaudy or very bling, a bit like a Christmas tree ornament. But in person, it's quite different, rather striking.
Either my eyesight is going warped or that phone box is looking a bit twisted. Literally. Take a look at some of this artwork. Around the atrium. Oh, look, there's a plane descending on the promenade there at an angle. Let's fly at an angle with it.
They have quite a few selected showpieces, and it's dotted around, so you gotta really pay attention to it. Can you say everybody's like this?
Everybody's just out with their cameras taking pictures, aren't they?
Later on, I'll show you more of the bars and restaurants that are clustered around here, because there's lots to see. Right at the top of these steps is one of our favourite haunts on the Legend, the Pearl Cafe. And there's a rather imposing animal strung from the roof.
Hey, what do we think that's up there? What on earth is that giant animal up there?
I think it's a giant squid.
Is it a giant squid?
It is 100%.
It's quite striking, isn't it? Right across the Pearl Cafe.
I'm keeping an eye on you.
Why?
You're asking me to look up at the squid.
Yes.
Because I got a funny feeling you want to zip past to what's behind you.
Right. Well, the desserts.
So I'm not looking up at the squid. Looking sternly at you.
I have to say, it's not accidental I asked you to come here to the Pearl Cafe, because there are snacks, there are desserts, there are chocolates, there are all things yumminess therein.
My eyes are trained on you.
Oh, lovely. Look at that. It's a positive cornucopia of delight. Look at those chocolate cake.
The fruit tartlets.
There's a creme brulee there. Have you spotted that? I'm sorry, I'm not really a creme brulee fan, but when it's torched and it's decorated like that, suddenly I have become a convertee, a devotee, almost favourite cafe. If you ever lose me and wonder where I might be, this might be a good first stop to check.
By then, we were getting hungry in search of some lunch and took an elevator to the top deck. In we went and bumped straight into...
Guess who's in the elevator? It's Elton John.
Where?
There.
I love Elton.
He's in the elevator.
And I think it's gonna be a long time.
I knew this was in the elevator.
We are not going out.
We're still here. Still standing. There you go.
Out the door and round the corner to the Windjammer Buffet. Why? Why did we go to the buffet? Because normally that's the last place to go on a cruise ship on Embarkation Day. The Royal Caribbean normally has a seafood buffet on arrival day. So let's break our buffet rule and see what they have.
It's pink, pink, pink and pink.
So bright and jolly.
Oh, wishy-washy, wishy-washy.
Stay happy.
The 250th anniversary being 4th of July.
Beautiful.
I think we have to have one of those, don't you? Great ice sculptures. Look at that. Somebody's been busy chiseling away, hammering away, sculpturing. That's what they've been doing, sculpturing. Some nice looking items on the buffet here. Charcuterie board to start with. What a brilliant place to begin the day. A lovely
I love it.
charcuterie
I
board.
love a really good charcuterie.
It immediately sets the tone, doesn't it? A charcuterie board.
There's so many types of fish and lamb.
Good looking meats, aren't there? Lobster.
On day one?
Yes, this is a tradition on Royal
It's not
Caribbean.
even formal night?
No, that's what it is. It's grilled lobster with chimichurri sauce. What have we got? Let's have a look. Loads of shrimp and salads. Salads, seafood salads, salmon ceviche. Got some cold lobster, shrimp cocktails already prepared and laid out. How cute are these little salmon tartare? Beautifully presented.
It's not just food, it's beautifully presented.
It is. It's a very, very good opening day buffet. We've got some apple pound cake, some Oreo cheesecake, some gluten-free. People often ask, is there gluten-free? We have some gluten-free Jell-O.
It's not just desserts, it's beautifully presented as well. It's almost like patisserie grade, some of those. This doesn't normally happen on my plate on the day one buffet.
Yes, what have you done? You've gone for you crazy.
This does almost never happen. Mrs. Ritzy usually has the resistance of an Iron Man. Will the buffet maintain these high standards throughout the cruise? Well, we'll continue to dip in and out of the Windjammer as we go through and show you. With that, we headed up to the top deck because the Sailaway was upon us, and there were some other ships in the area that were also on the move.
Ship on the move, not us. Costa is steaming out. It's practically jet skiing its way out of the port. Let's wave goodbye to Costa. In Italian.
No wish to be there.
We don't want to be on that one. We're happy to be on this one. Who wants to be on Costa Pacifica?
I'm very glad. Yeah.
You very glad?
And not.
We can't hear. It's absolutely fascinating, the evolution of cruise ships and cruise ship designs. In just 20 years, it's gone from that to this, substantially bigger. And that's how much things have changed in that time.
I do love Sailaways, there's always so much to look at. Here we are, we're sailing out of Civitavecchia towards France and Spain as the very first piece of sailing, the legend of the seas. Let's take a stroll around, drink in the atmosphere, have a look at more of the ship.
Base camp, look at that. It's a kid's paradise, isn't it? Oh, come on, I know you want to shimmy up there. I know you want to...
I think we should conquer and divide. There is a speed climbing competition, which I think you should sign up for.
You mean up there? Up there, up there, up there? No, maybe not. Liking some of the chairs here, I do give full marks to the designers for coming up with some quirky looking furniture. Well done. We don't want boring looking furniture. We want something like that. That's interesting. It's table soccer. Under the table.
Let's stroll a little bit further, and right at the back is the adult pool. This is called the Hideaway, and as we were sailing away in the afternoon sun, it was popular.
Wow. Pool party's here. Pool party central. DJ in the corner. DJ Mick. Whoa. Hey. Whoa.
Somehow it's cooler if your headset is outside.
Yeah. Don't put the headsets on the ears.
Right.
What you're looking at is the world's first suspended infinity pool at sea. But as you can see, it's not really that big, so there might be any number of people right next to you.
Okay, waiter service. Walking through the pool.
And whilst we're at the back, we might as well take a quick peep at the Waterpark.
Look at the slide.
This is quite a water park, isn't it?
I think we have to go down those slides.
I think we have to chuck ourselves down there, don't you
Okay,
think?
remember?
Ah, is this where you're sending me? I'm happy to chuck myself down tomorrow.
Later on in the video, we will be hurling ourselves down those slides, so keep watching. It's quite the sight. It had been hot out, so with that in mind, we decided to hunt down a drink.
Should we take a quick look at Bolero's? It's got a Latin theme, a Latin vibe to it. I think at night time with the bongos and the maracas, this is going to be the place if you want a little bit of salsa, a little bit of merengue. It's a fun bar, this, isn't it?
Someone has deviated and headed straight to the bar because
Well, I did notice this. Ah, that one! Right there. You can make it as strong as you like. It is a bargain. $8.50 is almost free.
Just a bit less.
Problem is, there's a daily special every day.
Is. Cheers. Chin chin.
Keep a lookout for those drinks of the day. It can be a good deal, surprisingly a bit cheaper than you might expect if you decided not to pay for that drinks package. Should we now take a look at our cabin? It was a sea-facing balcony up on deck 14.
It's still got the new ship smell, hasn't it? The carpets have that sort of clean.
Yes, beautiful spring on the carpet.
It's a bouncy carpet.
Yes.
We are 14320. How pink. Now, we have got a totally different cabin than we originally booked because we participated in the Bid Up programme. I'll explain how that went because we did end up with a totally different cabin. So we'll show you this one because I think we're going to be quite pleased we changed. Here we go. Right, here we go. Let's have a look at the Ritzy cabin for the week. And in you come. Welcome to our ocean view balcony.
Look, I like the hats.
We have some Inauguration Day hats. Well, here we go. First look at our cabin. It's a good looking cabin. Airy, spacious. And what have we got on the bed?
Okay, I think I have to immerse myself.
And there's a lot of shows on this sailing.
That's what I'm looking forward to. The mega productions, the iconic production. This is what I'm looking forward to.
Yes, got those tickets
Big
booked.
productions like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
So I like a bed which is right by the window, right by the balcony. So at night, in the mornings, when there's a cool breeze, you can open it up and you can see the sea, you can see the moonlight, you can see the stars.
I like this configuration because normally they put the bed deeper into the cabin.
Correct.
And the chairs out.
Correct.
This is much better because as you lie in bed at night, you feel as though you're right there next to the sea.
I think it's quite romantic in this position. I've spotted all sorts of little cubby holes and shelves illuminated, and it might seem like a basic thing to mention, but where is the TV? Dead opposite the bed. How often have we seen them in ridiculous positions, like far, far away over there, or around a corner, or somewhere completely ridiculous? Sometimes you walk into a cabin and you feel, that's a bit pokey, that's not quite what I expected. This is a nice cabin. I think it's been sensibly done. You've got the cabinets and the doors and the wardrobes facing out. How often have we been when they're here? And there's no space. Here there is now. It doesn't look as though there's a huge amount of closet space. So, cabbage baskets, grocery baskets.
Onion and potato baskets.
Yes. Do you think you're going to get all your clothes in there? Is that sufficient space? It's not really a gowns type cruise, this one. It's much more.
Now, this is the point. The Royal Caribbean is not like a dress-up cruise. So you do not need a lot of hanging space.
Over here, you've got a fabulosity mirror there as well. You've got one by the door, and you've got another fabulosity mirror there. We've got our mini bar there. Now, there's any Prosecco, champagne, gin and tonic in there? No. So, socketry. We have a USB-A. That's what's the old-fashioned USB port there, right by the bed. We also have some universal sockets there with a couple more.
Let's do the bathroom.
Let's do the bathroom.
Ooh, I like smart switches. Mood switches. Morning,
Yes.
waking up. Evening,
Yes.
dim it down for a bit of a romantic feel.
Yes.
Movie,
Yes.
the lights,
Yes.
and sleep night-night.
And with that, into the bathroom.
Bright and airy.
It's not the world's biggest bathroom, but it has been done nicely. It's been well thought out. Bright mirrors, lots of little shelves there. I have seen bigger bathrooms for this cabin grade because we are in a balcony cabin here. It's pretty good. It's been well thought out, well designed. Not huge, but I'd say it's been reasonably done. Your little bench in there, little shower bench.
Isn't it, to be able to sit down, take a moment while you lather.
Should we go and take a look at the balcony? Because we've got a slightly unusual one because most of the exterior cabins have that infinite balcony. It's not really a balcony, it's just a window. This one is a proper balcony. Let's have a look. Here we go. Not many of these cabin varieties on these Icon class ships. They're quite the rarity. It's quite spacious. It's got a sort of beach vibe, really. White chairs, white and yellow table, and there. Anybody spot what I'm talking about? Why this is unusual? Spotted something why this balcony is unusual? The overhang is double depth. It's much, much, much deeper than normal.
I just noticed
Now let's head to the balloon drop, because it was the 4th of July, it was the Maiden, and it was all happening down in the Royal Promenade. Here we go, the 4th of July and 250th combined centenary celebrations. The party was just warming up, the party was starting. It was quite the buzz, people leaning over the balconies, drinks in hand, while the live band cranked up the atmosphere. And hanging high above us were hundreds, possibly thousands of balloons, waiting for the countdown, and the moment they would all come cascading down. It all became a giant dance floor. Mrs. Ritzy's reaction was quite the picture. Her fingers went straight into her ears. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please do give it a like, give it a thumbs up, as it lets us know we're on the right track, and we'll try to put out more of this type of material. The celebrations were over, and the next day was going to be an interesting one, a sea day, because that's when you see if the ship really works for you. The next morning, Mrs. Ritzy kicked me out of bed at the crack of dawn and instructed me to do some serious athletic laps around the ship before breakfast, whilst she headed off to the gym. I wasn't entirely convinced this counted as a holiday, but off I went. Let's see how long it took me before I became extremely distracted.
All right, breakfast time. What can we be tempted with? Oh my God, look at this. A mountain of waffles. How about that? Complete sugar rush first thing in the morning. That is, well, it's Heart Attack City really, isn't it?
Have to say there's quite a few healthy options. Avocado on sourdough, salmon on bagels, there's some nicely decorated muesli. Oh, some very unhealthy choices too. But in general, if you want to eat wisely, you can. There was a good overall breakfast selection. I forced myself out because I had been advised to absolutely not go in there. Immediately felt guilty, so went to check up on Mrs. Ritzy, who apparently was walking to the first port of call, using nothing but a treadmill. After a gentle flick around the ear, I was sent back outside again.
Oh, we have aqua aerobics in the swimming pool. 9 a.m, everybody jumping up and down. A gym session, a gym workout, waterborne, get yourself moving, and be motivated by this guy here. Trotting up and down the pool edge, getting everybody jumping, squat thrusts, thrusting everywhere. Mr. Motivator, how many calories can we shift? Jump! We're back in the army. Flap and flail, windmill motions. Oh, we have some fitness classes in the Royal Promenade, right underneath the Pearl. Why didn't I sign myself up for that one? Wasn't aware of it. Would I have signed up for it? Definitely. Clap, 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 step, 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 clap, clap, clap. Wow, vigorous workout.
1, 2, 3.
By accident, I bumped into Mrs. Ritzy outside on the running track.
Here she comes, Mrs. Ritzy, running multicoloured. In fact, will you be able to spot the difference between the wall and Mrs. Ritzy? Here she comes, multicoloured. I've decided to run with you for a while. Right, let's go. Let's go.
Convinced that I might have actually been doing some exercise, she proposed a reward of breakfast.
Today, I thought we'd try out the AquaDome market.
Yes, there's several options to have. This is their quick serve choice fast food outlets. Crepes, Korean, Cajun, adobo, Spanish, and a simply pressed with smoothies. We got Cajun gumbo shrimp, Cajun gumbo sausage. I like anything sausagey. Chicken, white rice. Might be back. Ooh, hang on a minute. We got some Spanish tapas. Morning. You got delicious looking tapas there. Okay, maybe one of those. They look delicious. Are they delicious? They're double delicious.
Serrano, salsa.
It looks so sad on its own. Maybe some olives just to make it look pretty. There. That's a pretty looking platter now.
Yes, just one. Before he pile another one.
Thank you.
Salsa, manchego, and serrano ham.
Could be in Barcelona. I would like to try the gumbo. You read my mind. How did you know I was going to...
Yes, which one, sir?
Oh, that's a good question. Sausage. You can't go wrong with sausage.
That's fine, thank you. Let me cut his portion down.
Okay.
She is limiting it. Did you hear that? Did you notice that? She's the fun police. Did you notice that?
Tablespoon.
She whispered to you, didn't she? She said, give him none.
I like the camaraderie.
Yes, you're ganging up on me.
Gaming out is called
Oh,
teamwork.
is it spicy? Do I need any? Do I need?
A little bit spicy. It's not like a...
Do I need to? I like spice. Do I need to add some extra Tabasco?
I would give you on the side.
Yes. Why not? Yes. Yes. I like it hot. Ah, even better.
I like surf stuff that reads your mind.
Yes, you read my mind. Oh, that's a huge amount. Cully, that's practically half the bottle.
Thank you, Dina. Oh my God.
Well, how about that for a haul?
Can I just, it's neither breakfast nor lunch.
Brunch. Look at that. You see, look. Restrained with a capital R. You wouldn't think I've been gluttonous there, would you? You'd think, well done. That is a controlled portion, a controlled snack. Let's just call it a snackette.
She was so cute. She said, sir, shall I cut your rice portions?
I can't believe you two are conspiring against me. That is a very delicate portion of rice. Look, put my finger there for scale. That is how
Okay,
much
this
rice I've got on
is
there.
a mini ice cream scoop of rice, which
It is.
just perfect.
I just came back to report to you. That is absolutely delicious. It really is. It's really good. Just the right amount of Tabasco. Thank you for putting most of the bottle of Tabasco in. But that is actually really, really good. It's tasty.
Would you like one more?
I haven't finished that one yet.
She's not here. You can get one more. She's not here.
No, I need you on the ice cream store. Then you could secretly pass me ice cream. Thank you.
Don't you just love that? The staff are so charming. We decided to try out the water park. Here it is, Thrill Island. Sounds a bit like Jurassic Park. This they call their Category 6 water park. In fact, they claim it's the largest water park at sea. You've got 6 record-breaking slides here, all stacked up at the back of the ship. You can see the pure scale of it. So there's a whole lot of action here. We've got the ultimate bird's eye view of what it actually feels to tackle these slides. We took our 360-degree camera right down into the heart of the action. Welcome to the Category 6 water park on Legend of the Seas. Let's try out some of these rides. Let's chuck ourselves down. Let's furl ourselves across all of these rides. Hurricane Hunter. How very comfy. Is that your back west? Right, we're good. We're good. Off we go. I like this one. And if you really want to test your nerves, the one to go for, the instant drop, or what they call the frightening bolt.
Are you ready?
No! Go!
4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow! Yeah, that's awesome! Woo! Geez. The first 5 seconds, you absolutely shot down. Fantastic.
Oh my God!
Ready?
I'm ready.
Ready?
I'm ready. Do your worst.
3, 2, 1.
Whoa!
Whoa! That is one heck of a ride. When you hear them counting down, 4, 3, 2, 1, in dramatic Hollywood style. It's like Darth Vader was saying 4, 3, 2, 1. That's what it's like. Okay, here comes Mrs. Ritzy. Let's wait for her. 4, 3, 2. I said exactly the same. It's that Darth Vader voice, isn't it, as it counts down. That's what it is. Frightening bolt. 10 out of 10. Well done. Woo!
That is a phenomenal ride.
And also, give you a shot of whiskey. It should be a 2-in-1.
For the kids.
Well, give the kids whiskey as well.
By the way, Ritzy Travel Guide is on Instagram and Facebook. If you want to know what we're up to in real time, you can follow us around the world on both of these. You'll see what we're trying out, the countries we visit, and behind the scenes. The channel name is the same as here, Ritzy Travel Guide for Instagram and Ritzy Travel Guide 1 for Facebook. And I'll also put the address down in the description box for this video. So follow along with us on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll see you in those. The water park is an absolute blast. Trust me, you're never too old. We certainly weren't the youngest people on the ship that week, but we were determined to give everything a go, and did. By then, it was midday, and we had a reservation inside. Time for a bit of speciality dining. We thought, why not go Italian? Because apparently there's a very good one on board called Giovanni's.
And the unusual thing is, we're trying it out during lunchtime.
Yes, not evening, lunchtime, there's a slightly different menu. I'm wondering if they have limoncello desserts. That would be a result.
Limoncello tart, limoncello fizz.
Limoncello, anything really. Looking forward to this one. We don't often have specialty dining at lunchtime.
How is everybody doing today?
We are good.
You're gonna find a delicious Italian cuisine with twists of American flavors.
Right.
For the starters, I recommend you the meatball gigante.
Okay.
Giant meatball is a delicious one piece of meatball.
It's like the size of a tennis ball or something, is it?
Is it gigantic?
Giant, gigante. It's filled up with gorgonzola cheese,
Oh, I love gorgonzola.
a rich and complex marinara sauce.
I love gorgonzola. I don't mind if you add extra gorgonzola.
Okay, extra gorgonzola.
Does it come in
Should we go and take a look at the open
No, no,
kitchen?
this is different.
Always like to have a peep at what's going on there. Look, they're making pizza in there. You know what? We attended a pizza making class in Naples a couple of years ago. We're certified. We'll go back and watch that video after this. We could almost do it ourselves.
Are you looking at what you didn't order but should have ordered?
Well, I did actually. I've just had a look at the samples. Oh, something's just arrived that we didn't even order. What have we got here?
It's like a little palate cleanser.
A little amuse-bouche has arrived. Oh, do I see a groaning platter?
Oh my.
Something
Wow.
extra cheese.
Extra cheese, just as ordered.
Thanks, Victor.
No, Yeah, tomato base with Italian sausage, vegetables, beans.
Like to have bread. Look at that. Extra. You see that rich, deep red tomato sauce? I think they've been reducing that down in the engine room, down in the boilers for about a week to get that.
My muffaletta.
It's fantastic.
I love Victor's enthusiasm. Everything is delicious and fantastic.
Everything is fantastic and delicious.
I love your descriptions. You talk with passion about your food.
No, it's very delicious. This is manchego cheese.
Oh my
Oh, I love
This is-
manchego cheese.
This is toasted focaccia with parmigiano.
I better set to work on this sharing platter of charcuterie. You know how they called it a sharing? Sharing for how many, do you think? Sharing for the village? Sharing for deck 7?
And the food kept coming. Bear in mind, we'd been quite sparing with our order. Next up, for the main course, I'd ordered baked lasagna.
Wow.
Very delicious, creamy. Bon
Wow.
appetit.
Thank you. You see that bubble, multi-layer lasagna. Such deep flavors. You know, lasagna, sometimes you get a cheap one, it's not much flavor. This has so much depth, it's rich, it's gooey, lots of cheese. It's a good lasagna, that one. And I've still got a whole plate of cheese and meat to eat.
To plow through.
I'm making space on the table because I see limoncello arriving. Need Surface space. Look at
Look
that.
at that.
Away from Capri.
Is it?
Limoncello, yes, it is.
Squeezed with love.
Yes, and slowly. With
Slowly
care.
squeezed. Must be carefully, slowly squeezed. Dear viewer, if you could smell that, if you could taste that, that is a bit of Capri coming right through.
And then to cap it all off, desserts.
That's beautifully presented.
Then you have it.
There we are. Look at that.
Cannolis, mascarpone cheese, cacao powder, and to give them the rich flavor is Kahlua and cognac.
Is there?
Coffee liquor.
Is there really?
Sir.
Even better.
Traditional.
And it's got 2 fireworks in the top.
This is a fresh mint leaf, and this is just white chocolate stick.
Look at that. That's very pretty, isn't it? Haven't they done a good job with that? They are both good-looking desserts, aren't they? Sometimes you say, why have I paid up for speciality dining when you get desserts like this? What's not to love? Is tiramisu with limoncello in the background.
Not sure how many calories we consumed at Giovanni's, probably thousands. We should probably have burnt that off at a dance class. By coincidence, there was still one in operation opposite.
Oh, what do I see going on in Boleros? I see an afternoon Latin dancing class. Maybe a bit of bachata. Oh, we're all getting into the rhythm, getting into the groove.
Could have joined in, but we didn't. With that, it's back outside, and I want to show you one of our 3 favourite parts on the ship, and it's Central Park. Here it is. It's one of the cleverest ideas Royal Caribbean has ever come up with. Because just steps away from those buzzing pools and family areas, here is the exact opposite.
Do you know what I've suddenly spotted in the middle of Central Park? A lovely lady playing a harp.
You can catch the sound of birdsong, gentle background music, and people simply slowing down. Because it offers something that's surprisingly rare on a megaship, a genuine sense of peace. And if the park is pretty during the day, it becomes even nicer at night. Once the sun goes down, the whole neighbourhood changes character. The pathways are softly lit, and the restaurants spill out onto the terraces. And suddenly this enormous cruise ship starts to feel remarkably intimate. And tucked away is one of our favourite discoveries on Legend, Lou's Jazz and Blues. It's a proper little live music venue, inspired by the clubs of New Orleans. Different bands each evening playing everything from traditional jazz and blues through to soul. And what's lovely about it is that the music doesn't stay inside. They open the doors and it all drifts out into Central Park. So you can be sitting there with a drink, surrounded by the trees, listening to the music in the background.
Central Park for me is one of the major examples of how Royal Caribbean can be for everybody. Now, I'm not saying this ship would be for everybody, would be for you, should be for you, but there are parts of it which I think would appeal to a lot of people.
For us, this became one of the real hits of our time on Legend of the Seas. And it wasn't just here at Central Park, there were some other areas which I'll go on to show you in just a moment that genuinely surprised us, caught us off guard. Why? Because we thought we'd go aboard and it would just be noisy, loud, full of people with no respite, but there is, and I'll go through some of those. That evening we had double enjoyment to look forward to. Firstly, we had tickets to see the full-length production of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in the main theatre. Also, it was elegant evening that night, smart evening gala night, they call it different things on different ships. So we dressed up a little and headed off to the main dining room. The venue itself is impressive. It's spread over 3 levels, and considering the sheer number of people this room has to accommodate, it does somehow manage to feel surprisingly elegant, rather than just an enormous banqueting hall. There's some quite nice detailing. It's contemporary, certainly, but not flashy, and in parts looks rather classy.
Can I first off commend Royal Caribbean for the amount of silverware and cutlery that is on the table? I think we do have sufficient for about 4 dinners. 2 of each, both sides, plus several dessert spoons. Now, well done. That's a lot. There's almost no tablecloth space left at all. They've got a job lot, haven't they?
Can I just point out to the enormous chandelier?
There is.
The
You're well lit.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Quite a lot of light
5,
bulbs in
6,
there.
8-tier chandelier.
Yes. Ah, here we are. What have we got? We have escargot. And a beautiful tart.
How dare you?
Pardon?
How dare you?
No, okay, they didn't come out quite right.
Excuse me, making way.
Sorry, are the two escargot?
Yes.
Did she order two? She ordered two? I must have been somewhere. I must have been over there when you ordered those.
This looks weird. I'm just going to pretend to put this a little further away.
You're going to pretend that that's for somebody who's not at our table over there. We have an onion tart, also possibly known as a quiche. Would you say also possibly known as a quiche?
I mean, kind of a quiche.
And on your plate, we have escargot bourguignon, a very garlicky, buttery one. And another one right there, hidden
Not mine.
behind the bread basket. Okay, dear viewer, if you were watching this, which one would you have?
That's really well seared.
Strip loin, New York strip loin. That's on the always available menu. A healthy dollop of butter. And I have chicken masala, garlicky mash, and a nice reduction wine sauce with the masala. Are you glad you got yours? I must say, that does look rather good.
This is steak done well. Done well, rather than well done.
Well done, chefs. That's looking very good.
The taste is really nice.
Isn't that an indication of love and affection when you get past a piece of steak?
It was a good dinner that evening. About to take you to the theatre, but before that we headed to one of our absolute favourite venues on the ship. It's their equivalent of an observation lounge, and it's called the Overlook. And in the evenings it looks gorgeous. It's possibly our favourite time to be there. As the light begins to fade outside, the whole room changes with it. You get those enormous walls of glass wrapping around the front of the ship.
It's a very, very pretty ship at night, isn't it? It's coming the Overlook, and you'll see what I mean. It's very, very pretty.
People congregate for a drink, couples settle into those big comfortable chairs by the windows. There's that buzz of conversation.
It's like a little magical wonderland at night, isn't it?
It's a bit like
Everybody's out taking their photographs at the time of night, and I can understand why. It's one of the best times to be here.
Certain times you could see the stars, and the bar in particular looks beautiful at night.
It's like a little jewel box, I think, at night, isn't it?
That evening we went to see the first of their 3 elaborate shows they have on board the ship. I'm going to show you all 3 in turn. Now remember, you must get on the app or go on the website before you go on the cruise, well before, to book these shows. Otherwise there's no guarantee you'll get in. Yes, you can try and turn up on the night, but you really should book those before you get on the ship. Let's show you the first one, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. As you enter, I could swear blind they were pumping chocolate aroma around the auditorium just to get you into the swing of things. Almost immediately you realise just how much has gone into this production. The sets are enormous, they're constantly changing around you with huge backdrops, moving scenery. The whole theatre seems to be transported into various places. It's colourful, it's eccentric, it's completely over the top, which of course is exactly what Willy Wonka should be. You've got those Oompa Loompas, some wonderfully elaborate costumes, plenty of humour, and what impressed us is the sheer scale of it. This doesn't feel like a shortened cruise ship version of a West End or Broadway musical. It feels like a proper experience at sea. It's far and beyond more impressive than you get with other cruise lines. And at the end, you get that famous elevator, which actually rises above the stage and out into the auditorium with Charlie and Willy Wonka inside it. It is a huge amount of fun. Again, make sure you book that show because it's only on a couple of times throughout the entire cruise. It's not every night because the theatre does other things on the other nights, so it's only on a couple of occasions. Make sure you book that. Now, lest we forget, these are ships and they are supposed to take you somewhere, let me just show you a minute or two of some of the ports of call we went to, because if you're going on exactly this cruise, it may give you some inspiration. Because as we mentioned, the Legend of the Seas spends the winter in Florida, going around the Caribbean, and the summer months in Europe. Our cruise called in a variety of ports, including Italy, Spain, and France. Let me show you just a couple of minutes of each so you can get an idea of where it stops and what to expect. Now after that, we'll be right back to the ship because I've got a few important areas to show you. The first port that I want to show you is Palma de Mallorca in Spain. It's one of our favourite ports, and to build ourselves up for that, we thought we'd better have breakfast. So let me show you a typical breakfast on Royal Caribbean. Let me show you first when we went to the main dining room. Because we couldn't possibly head out on an empty stomach, it's nice to try out a civilised breakfast aboard.
Well, we're down on deck 3 here, nice and quiet in the morning. I do love relaxed breakfast when you don't have to rush out the door, rush off the ship. Take your time. Not many people. They've all gone to the buffet. They've all rushed en masse to the buffet. There's nobody here. What are you thinking of having?
We done 30 Ks in the gym this morning, so I am
How many?
30 Ks in the gym this morning.
What were you doing 30 Ks? Where did you run back to? Barcelona?
I rode 15 and I cycled 15, so I can have.
Everything. The whole lot.
What you gonna have?
Eggs Benedict. Well, here we go. Breakfast has arrived. Look at that. I must say that's been very nicely presented. 2 eggs Benedict, hash browns. I'm not sure I ordered that hash brown. Anyway, they thought I needed a hash brown. What do you have over there? A much more healthy selection than what I've got.
I have a blueberry parfait.
Very nice too.
Beautiful with I love granola. Power wrap, which is basically stuffed with protein.
But I must say there is a difference between what's on your side of the table and what's on my side of the table.
Can I just show you my healthy selection here? Power wrap, bowl of berries, blueberry parfait, and on his side,
Almost as healthy.
everything.
wouldn't you say? Almost as healthy. Look at that, glistening in the morning sun. I do like the way they plated it up in separate little bowls. Look at that. I really don't remember ordering that. I don't know how that, but it's healthy. See, salad on top.
It looks the part. It looks really, really good.
Healthy. Should I do the egg test? Right, we all want to know what these eggs Benedict
I
are
must say
like.
the holiday sauce looks really nice. Peel it.
There's
Wow.
one. And let's have another one. Look at that. That
That is-
well cooked. That's how an eggs Benedict should be. I'm going to give that a 9 out of... Oh, hang on. Hang around there. What have we got there?
Croissant, blueberry muffin, and plain croissant.
That blueberry muffin looks like an apple crumble.
Best way to start the day in the main dining room. We say that every time we go cruising, and I think that's still the case. If you've got the time, if you're not flying out that door, have it in the main dining room. Does that look pure delight on your face?
The best food does not need to be deep fried.
Ah, unlike that one there. Very much unlike that one there. Well done, Royal Caribbean. Well done, Legend of the Seas. That is a top quality breakfast. Sometimes you book a luxury cruise line or an ultra-luxury cruise line for their breakfast. Well, I have to say this is the equal of several of the ships we've been at the top end of the cruise market. And it didn't cost us a fraction of that.
Looks and tastes like a luxury line breakfast.
It does.
It is an extremely good breakfast in the main dining room. Right, fortified, let's show you Palma, which was outside our window because it's a real beauty and worth going in for. With the moment you arrive, get a bus in, it is so picturesque, it's almost manicured, and Mallorca is one of the safest places you can visit in Spain. It somehow manages to combine a genuinely beautiful old city with a magnificent cathedral and those pretty little winding streets. You'll notice that Palma is one of those places where the streets themselves are really the attraction. Little lanes suddenly open up to pretty squares. There are pavement cafes tucked beneath old stone buildings, cute little bakeries and tapas bars. It's a wonderfully easy city just to potter around with no particular plan. Look up and you'll see those lovely old balconies and shutters. Look down another side street and there's another cafe with tables on the pavement.
Smell-o-vision, dear viewer, if you could only smell the delightful aromas wafting out of there. So we're just standing here downstream, wafting in bakery aromas.
Smells.
It's the smell of sugar, jam,
And
bakeries, pastries, hashtag yumminess. Wow, isn't that cute? That is so cute. But fabulous. Still preparing it like they used to hundreds of years ago. Love wandering around Palma. I could do it for hours. Every time we stop here, we say this is one of our favourite destinations of the Mediterranean.
Oh, of course, while you're there, you should try some light bites.
Let's try one of those famous in Palma. It's called Juan del Santo Cristo. It's been here for years and years and years. Practically an institution. In fact, is an institution. Been here since 1910. 116 years. It's got a really delightful shop. Everybody wants to come and have a coffee or a pastry or a cake. Something sweet, something savoury. I think we should immediately perch ourselves at that table. They got seafood. They got fruit cream. They got some salami and meats and quiche. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry, wild horses couldn't hold me back when faced with a pastry.
You told me you're stopping for a coffee.
Yes. And the coffee is on order. We've got a macchiato and a cafe con leche, plus this pastry, which has got chocolate in it. So when you see the word chocolate, it's fairly automatic. Actually, in all seriousness, it's one of the most famous pastries. It's called Ensaimada, and it's originating in Mallorca. So we are having something of the island. I thought we should, but this is the chocolate variety. Why not go all in chocolate Ensaimada? A finer way to end the morning, browsing round the streets, then a coffee and a pastry, particularly an authentic local one. When you have a kid putting his nose against the window, trying to smell in, you know that it's a good place. There's our napkin score.
And with Palma, you do not need to book a ship's tour. It's perfect to do by yourself. By the way, coming out in a couple of months, we will have a dedicated video coming out on Palma de Mallorca and some of the other Mediterranean cities, because we've been there on a few occasions. We've got a lot of footage to show you, a lot of recommendations. So do remember to be subscribed to our channel so you know when that video comes out. That evening, we went to see Shockwave. It's their aquatic show. It's very striking as you enter. The AquaDome has been purpose-built for productions like this. It comes with a towering 55-foot waterfall. There's some robotic stage technology, moving platforms, projection mapping and lighting systems. It's quite a combination of Olympic standard high divers, aerial acrobatics, artistic swimmers and dancers, all performing on the stage, which constantly transforms beneath them. This is a production that quite takes your breath away while you're sitting there in the audience. And you have to stop and think, they're performing all of this on a ship that's moving through the sea as it happens. Every dive, every aerial routine has been timed with pretty impressive precision. It was a rousing performance. Standing ovation from many around the ship. It is one of the best, if not the best, aquatic show we've seen.
Absolutely spectacular.
The next day we had arrived at one of the big attractions for a cruise in the Mediterranean. All of the cruise lines go there. It was Barcelona.
And welcome to Barcelona.
It was a beautiful day and we took a tour up into the hills of Barcelona. We can take these cute gondolas, cable cars if you like, with a fabulous view right across the city. We'd never done that before, really enjoyed it. And right at the top you'll find some historic sections, including this, a 17th century fort that was used to protect against marauding invaders, with whopping great cannons ready to shoot down anybody that came anywhere near. And then back down into the Gothic quarter of Barcelona. If you're looking for one section of the city that you absolutely must visit to get the spirit, the essence of Barcelona, it's the Gothic quarter. And we had earmarked a delightful little restaurant to have lunch at. This is where we were, fully recommended if you're in the Gothic quarter. It's called Tosca Palau.
Sweltering out there in Barcelona. We're coming for some tapas and a drink.
Is there a sangria?
And this is not a sangria, well spotted. It's a Tinto Verano. Why, you ask? It's almost like a spritz. It's red wine with soda, and it's very refreshing. There you are. Remember that one. Tinto Verano. Ooh, incoming gambas prawn.
Like this.
You're never sure, are you? With tapas, it could be unbelievably small.
It's going to be like that.
I'll tell you the price, dear viewer, in just a minute, once we've finished. But that's one of 3 tapas that's part of a set lunch. Let's see what the rest are. Oh, and my empanada is tucked around the corner.
Thank you very much. Good. Thank you.
Right, well, the final haul has arrived. Do you want to run through what we've got here? Oh, we got quite the haul here. We got some potatoes, some meatballs, calamari, empanada, and the star attraction, the shrimps. Personally, I think that's one of the better tapas we've had in Barcelona for a while.
Sometimes we stumble upon a very, very good. And this is a very, very good meal.
Want to know what it all came to? €16.95 per person, which I think is a bit of a steal.
Well, that's not all. It includes bread, a drink, and coffee.
Oh, and dessert, which is coming in just a moment. Orange Seville orange cake with a treacle sauce. Ah, where'd that come from? Well, the Tinto Verano just magically appeared. Came from the wall. And Mrs. Ritzy has penned it on the back of a napkin. Ta-da! What's her scores? Food, 5-star, 5 out of 5. Service, 10 out of 5. All right, okay. Value, 5 out of 5. I totally agree with that. Setting, 5 out of 5. I agree with you. Tusca Palau, I think you have done an excellent job. You've knocked the ball out of the park. Aced it. In case you're wondering how we got around Barcelona that morning before we had our lunch, we went on a tour offered by Shore Excursions Group. They offer a number of tours in Barcelona, all styles of tours and attractions to see, as well as around the Mediterranean in general. I have left their link and details in the description of this video. Their groups are normally considerably smaller than you get with a cruise ship, and you get a much more personal experience. Let's try out a couple of light bites. Now, it was only just before dinner. Probably shouldn't have been snacking before dinner, but I was tempted by 2 of them. Right, well, base camp, right by the climbing wall. Like the vibe of this place. Again, feels very Caribbean. We could be in Nassau in the Bahamas or one of those.
We keep bumping into food places.
Right, what do we got here? I think we need to try. What do we got here? We got a smash burger. Wow, that smash burger. Look, hello. What's the best food? Is that smash burger good? Is that smash burger good?
Yes, sir. Very good, sir.
Is it? Well, give me one smash burger then.
How did you find your way to burgers?
Anything else?
Oh, some tater tots as well while we're at it. My wife's not noticing. If she says, what are those tater tots there? Say it's an accident. It just dropped on.
Yes.
That is a good-looking smash burger. It's begging to be tried. It's asking, taste me, taste me. That's what it's saying.
It's half an hour to dinner time.
Never mind that.
It's the
Gooey cheddar. That's the bit we want.
caramelized onion.
Yes. Yes, yes, and more yes. All that gooey cheese. It's got a good vibe, this place. It's got a lively bar, lively food counter. We're right by the Flumes. That's where we are, if you want to know where to get one of these smash burgers. Are we ready? Doesn't that look good? Thank you. Right, I think we need some mustard and some ketchup with that. Good decision or bad decision, dear viewer? What do you think? Me thinks good decision.
There's a guilty look on.
No guilty look on my face at all. That is their famous smash burger with tater tots, just as a side dish. Vegetables.
Vegetables.
Vegetables. Feel free to have a dip of the tater tots.
Viewers, would you call this? Would you classify this as vegetable?
Yes, potatoes.
You don't look even remotely remorseful. What's that look on your face?
Good smash burger, that. Now, what about the buffet? Supposing you want to go to the buffet instead? Well, we headed there afterwards, so we could show it to you. Here we are, flavors of the Caribbean. Oh, the Caribbean vibes are already going.
What you want to for yummy yummy? Shake it up. There you go.
Caribbean goat curry. Anybody like goat? Who's a fan of goat? Okay, dear viewer, would you like the goat curry? Some fried plantains. Very Caribbean tonight. Well, we have some jerk chicken pate, and jerk sauce. That's very Caribbean. Some fish, some rice and beans. That's very Caribbean. Some oxtail stew. We've got round the corner. Some jerk pork leg. And if you're not wanting Caribbean, you've also got your everyday available salads and charcuterie board and fish. The other thing I have to give credit for is their fruit. They have a really good fruit selection. You'd normally expect to be on a premium or a luxury cruise line to get berries, star fruit, dragon fruit. Nowadays, cruise lines cheap. They just give you cheap fruit. Full credit here. It is a big selection. Let's see what Caribbean desserts we've got. Some sweet potato pie. We got some fudge brownies. Pineapple surprise. What have we got here? That's not Caribbean, but that's my absolute favourite. Blueberry cobbler. Rum cake. You know what I like about Caribbean themed events? The rum cake. This one is a really good rum cake. Soft and gooey and moist and rummy.
Later that evening, it was time for another of their famous shows, this time the ice show. Now, I know what you might be thinking, ice shows, why on a ship, why do we really want to go? But I tell you what, it was very entertaining. The show in the arena is called Absolute Zero. It's one of the best ice arenas ever built for a cruise ship. The show itself is quite beautiful. It's elegant. It has high-tech 3D projection on the ice floor beneath the skaters' blades. It's done very well. At the time you feel like you're watching an episode of Dancing with the Stars on ice. It's vibrant and quite engaging. Then it goes all Rio Carnival on you with vibrant scenes. And at the performances, a cruise guest gets plucked out and invited onto the ice. It's part theatre, part stage show, and lots of skating. And again, this does demonstrate to you why these Icon class ships can be expensive, because they have all of these shows to pay for with a huge amount of people in each and every show. It does help a little bit explaining why you might want to pay up for these cruises. Coming up in just a moment, we're going to give you our final conclusion, our final verdict, go over what we did and didn't like, whether we could recommend it to you, who we would recommend it to, but we have just one little port of call to show you. Is our final port, and I think, to be honest with you, it was one of our favourite. Because our final day ashore was going to be something completely different from everything we'd done so far. We had arrived at La Spezia. Do you know what we'd be doing while we were ashore? We were going to be going truffle hunting, because we are right in the centre of Tuscany, famous for its landscape, its scenery, and also truffles. Now, there's only so much I can tell you about what we were doing, because we were on a bit of a secret mission. I can't tell you much. In a few months, you'll know why I say we were on a secret mission, because it's almost like an NDA. We can't tell you exactly why. In a few months, you'll know while we were there. So I'll show you the bits I can show you. First off, though, it was a beautiful tender ride across the sea. I do like going on tenders occasionally, because you get right down close to the water, and perhaps more importantly, you get a jolly good look back at the ship. You can see everything in its proper sense and scale. Now, before we got to that truffle hunting in the heart of the Tuscan region, we stopped off at the famous city of Pisa and its tower. Why not? We were going straight past it. Time for a stop. And it's quite the anticipation as you get dropped off a couple of streets away. You walk past the horse and carriages, waiting for that first glimpse.
There we are, look. Leaning Tower of Pisa. Can't come here without getting the obligatory selfie. Love being in Pisa. Doesn't matter how many times you're here, it's still great to be here. There's a certain buzz, isn't there? Yes, I know it's touristy. Lots of places around the world are touristy, but you need to come to them.
We've been to Pisa a few times, but every time we come back, it still continues to be awe-inspiring.
Isn't it? You've got this beautiful square. It all congregates around here. You've got the cathedral and then the other buildings. People used to be baptized in those years and years ago.
So every time you come back, create a different pose. It's leaning.
Yes,
It's rather short.
it is. It's a little bit bijou, isn't it? It's a very delicate little tower. Sometimes people think it's going to be huge. No. It's a modest little affair, but it's a historic little affair. And historical fact, we've learned today that that's pretty much totally marble. The whole exterior of the Leaning Tower of Pisa is marble. Now, if you've never been to Pisa before, you have to realise it will be busy, but that's no surprise. You could go to the Trevi Fountain in Rome. Actually, it would be worse than this. You could go to the River Seine. You could go to the Eiffel Tower. Anywhere that's famous will be busy. So actually, all that being said, it's reasonably manageable. You will be able to get a little space to get your shot.
Of course, we had to try out some silly poses while we were there. Mrs. Ritzy wanted to go for something unusual. Nothing like laying on your back in a busy thoroughfare.
And with that, we're off to where are we off to?
We are off to hunt down some truffle.
We're going truffle hunting. We're looking forward to this. This is Libby, our guide, and we're going to be hunting down those truffles with those dogs.
And this is the scene that awaited us. A horse and carriage appeared as if by magic from behind the trees. We were taken there in the time-honoured fashion. This is a privately owned farmhouse that offers truffle hunting, vineyard tours, and a glimpse of traditional Tuscan life.
Horse and carriage, isn't that beautiful?
Horse and carriage and that one dog.
It's a little truffle dog in the carriage. Hello, truffle dog.
I don't know who's more excited, you or the dog.
Equally excited. Look at that. What a beautiful setting. It's difficult to imagine a more beautiful setting. Gorgeous.
We then headed into the woods, going truffle hunting with a truffle dog.
Look, here we are. We have a genuine truffle hunter. Instead of a crocodile hunter, we have a truffle hunter. Look at this man with his weapon. There, look at him. Generations of truffling. Look at this dog. Oh, look at that. How sweet.
We found 5. Can't show it to you. In a few months you'll see it. It was a success. We headed back to their farmhouse. What a gorgeous spot. It's just as you would imagine a Tuscan vineyard and farm would be. This could all be right out of a movie. Rustic, down to earth, proper country living.
So we've had a fabulous afternoon, and we're going to show you this all in a separate episode because we've been truffle hunting. Not only did we go truffle hunting, we found the most glorious truffles. 5 big, huge. Would you say huge truffles?
They were huge. There was like black truffles is in season at the moment, but the thing about truffle hunting is the chase. It's really you are as excited as the dogs as you chase, and then you find these golden nuggets. Is quite exhilarating.
We've been running around the forest area over there. We've been with the dogs, sniffing, chasing, finding out, looking, searching for the truffles. And then we went back to the farmhouse right here behind us. There's a farmhouse with a beautiful kitchen. I'll show you that in a minute. And let me show you the kitchen now, because it's just as you imagine a Tuscan farmhouse kitchen would be. And then they took the truffles that we found and we stood in this kitchen here. And they whipped up with these ingredients the most amazing. What pasta do they use?
It's just fettuccine, but it's a simplicity. It's just fettuccine with butter, milk, and loads of truffle.
Look here, we're about to have lunch. This is the little farmhouse. This is where they're going to prepare the truffles. Traditional Tuscan farmhouse. All the pots hanging from the ceiling. It's just as you would imagine a traditional farmhouse kitchen would be, isn't it? All the knickknacks, everything hanging from the walls and the ceiling. This is Tuscany at its best. Look at the floors there. Look at what's underneath. This is real historic Tuscany. Look, these truffle chips. Look there. Look. Truffles are so bountiful here. Look at these truffles here. I'm sticking in some truffles, right? Don't tell anybody. Look, just between you and me. Look. Nobody's noticed. Those glorious truffles, and they make their own olive oil here. They make their own Chianti wine, and they farm these truffles with their dedicated truffle dogs. Look at that. So it's the honey with the truffle in the honey. Can I say you have a beautiful farm here? Thank you so much for having us here.
My husband.
Is it? A handsome man.
My Boshelli.
Brasilia. Huge platter of salamis and meats and cheeses.
It's worth missing breakfast with it.
It was a very liquid but highly enjoyable lunch. And just as we were leaving, the owner gave us an operatic rendition from the fields.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. It's ciao. It's most amazing. Can you give one little bit of your solo mio for the camera?
Oh, sole mio, che belle mie.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Such a character, and what a wonderful day out. You'll see more of that in a couple of months. And so back to the ship for the final night aboard. It all looked glorious in the evening sun. It's one of the lovely things about cruising the Mediterranean at this time of the year, and everything takes on that warm glow. And after a week aboard, it was glorious, which was slightly inconvenient, as the next day they'd be chucking us off. It's now time to answer those questions we asked ourselves right at the beginning. Would we come away liking the ship? Can a ship carrying more than 7,000 passengers actually change our mind about megaships? Well, yes and no, and let me be absolutely clear about it. A megaship will never be for everyone, even one as well specified as Icon of the Seas or Legend of the Seas as we're on here. It can't be for everyone. If your idea of cruising is a smaller, traditional ship with quiet decks, intimate lounges, perhaps 700 or 800 passengers rather than 7,000, then nothing that we've shown here would persuade you otherwise. However, what really surprised us is that Royal has been very clever at setting up their neighborhoods, their districts, so there is something for everybody. You can and should find the spot that suits you. When we boarded, we were convinced that a ship like this wouldn't be for us. We thought we'd come off saying never again, but we came away genuinely liking certain aspects of this ship. If you're open to something a little bit different, you may come away surprised by this ship. We did. Are we going to book it tomorrow? No. Will we book it next month? No. That's not because we don't like it, but simply because we like variety. But we would have no reservation whatsoever, perhaps in a year's time, maybe 2 years' time, if the destination is right, if the itinerary is right. We have no hesitation booking one of these Icon class ships again. Now, it doesn't mean it's right for you. That's just how we feel, but we came away liking quite a lot of it. Now, don't go anywhere just yet, because if you haven't seen part 1, our full review and tour of Legend of the Seas, do go back and watch that now. Here it is. You can click on this now, and we have several other videos on our channel all about cruising, all about cruise ships and port destinations. We'd love to see you in one of these right now. Thanks so much for joining us on the Ritzy Travel Guide.